Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. My name is Lee Chicanian, and I'm here talking about movies. That's all I love, movies and cinema and all things related to that. That's just my thing. I've been wanting to talk about a couple of films now for a while now, and The Batman is one of them. And it must have opened about, like, say, 4 weeks ago, so it's been out for about a month in theaters. Just never got around to talking about it, but the film just blew me away and it's like really put an impression on me. So I really have to talk about it. Although it runs for 3 hours, the runtime it's nothing because it just like zooms right by. It's just so smooth as it goes through its course. And it's like, it's not your typical Batman movie. See, I particularly have been a fan of Batman since 1989's. The Tim Burton directed Batman that starred Jack Nicholson as the Joker and Michael Keaton as Batman. So nostalgic. Like that movie, when my parents bought me the VHS when I was a kid, I'd play that thing on repeat over and over. That thing ran overtime when I was a kid. I watched it 4 or 5 times a day, every day. I loved Batman. And Batman Returns, it was kind of like, I appreciated some things. Like Michael Keaton was good. Michelle Pfeiffer stood out in that one as Catwoman. She was the scene stealer. Danny DeVito was fun to a certain extent, but it was just a little too campy and silly. The story wasn't really on par to what I expected, so I didn't really appreciate it that much. I could see how people appreciate it as a comic book movie, but it was no Batman. It was no '89 Batman. So, and I guess Nicholson's scene-stealing Joker really took control of that one. But I don't know, Batman Forever was a cartoon. Batman and Robin was a parody. Then you had Christopher Nolan's like rebooted take with Christian Bale, Christian Bale's a great Batman. I liked him better as Bruce Wayne than Batman, but he was a really good Batman. That trilogy was great for what it was. It was more of like a origin story where Batman begins, and then The Dark Knight followed suit with like a terroristic take on the Joker. Oscar-winning performance from Heath Ledger. Exceptional performance from him as the Joker. And then there was The Dark Knight Rises, which a lot of people talk bad about, but I really appreciated it. People was like, oh, it's over the top, it's far-fetched, but I appreciate it. Though it was fun. I like Tom Hardy as Bane. Tom Hardy's the man. I really appreciated the Dark Knight trilogy. Of course, a lot of people do. In fact, Dark Knight's probably on people's #1 Batman on their list of best Batman movies. But then you had the Zack Snyder Batman. What was it called? Batman versus Superman. It was just no, like it was no good. It wasn't for me. Justice League, trash, garbage. Even the 4-hour director's cut of Justice League, I own the Blu-ray, but it's because I'm a Batman fan. I couldn't get into it. It just was not for me, and it's a shame because Ben Affleck he looked pretty good, as Batman and Bruce Wayne. He had that look, but just the film, the material around his character, around him, didn't do it. And it was a waste, It was a waste for him at least. But I've always been a Batman fan. Even Lego Batman, it was a lot of fun. I love Batman. I think Batman's like a grounded character. And it's like something's like a realistic take. It's like a real man out. He's rich, so he can afford to buy all these gadgets and all these things. And he's just out there helping people and saving the city. And I really appreciate it. And the villains are all like grounded takes on like real people, real villains in the real world, And I don't know, I really like Batman for that reason. Nothing against the Marvel universe. I appreciate those films and I like them, but I'm not so much into the CGI and the whole spacey like stuff. I'm more into the grounded take, the more realistic kind of like take on films and villains and heroes, and that's where Batman, I really appreciate it and I love it. And director Matt Reeves, he wrote, produced, and directed the Batman. He also did Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, Cloverfield, and I believe the remake of Let Me In. He does an excellent job here, and he takes like pieces of other films, and you can see the inspiration here. I heard a lot of inspiration was from the Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, his music and everything, which you get a song in this film. But I'd say like the David Fincher films, where it's like dark and gritty, and it has that rain-soaked, unpleasant atmosphere, that dark. I am a huge fan of David Fincher. He's like one of my favorite directors, and you can see like Seven in here, like the Brad Pitt starred Seven from '95, or Zodiac with the Zodiac killer, serial killer thriller. Earlier films such as Chinatown or The French Connection. You can see Matt Reeves took all these films and used their ingredients to incorporate into the world of Batman, and you can see it. Like, it's just so well done, like exceptionally well done, and he has a great cast. Like Michael Keaton's always my favorite Batman, and Christian Bale's up there, but Robert Pattinson, he's like right there hovering around with them. Really good, great take. Like, you can see that he has aggression within him, that emo, dark, the way the emotions are held within him, the vengeance, that he has. You can see it and sense it. A lot of people criticize how he's one note. Oh, there's no Bruce Wayne, there's no Batman. You gotta look at this as if it were like beginning of something. The character has to develop, and so you come up with a sequel, a third film. The character grows and develops throughout this, and this is where you see him as a young detective and how he feels. This is what it is. It ain't like he's out moonlighting as Bruce Wayne and then here he is fighting crime as Batman. No, it's all like one mindset, and I really appreciate that. And it's so well done. I love it so much. The dark atmosphere, everything about it. And then you have great performances in this film, great cast. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, Catwoman. Whenever she's on screen, you're just like totally engaged in her. You just can't look away. She's so powerful and good. And then you have Colin Farrell as the Penguin, who brings humor to his character, humor to the film, as a gangster. Like, you're kind of reminding me of like the Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy, the villains. But it's not as silly. It's not silly. It's like, it's done just right. Like a villain's gangsters in the comic book universe done right. The Batman gets it done right. And you have Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, when there's a real likability between him and Batman. It's like real likable characters. Like, you just really like him. He was exceptionally good, Jeffrey Wright. And Paul Dano as the Riddler. He's dark and demented. It's like psychological. It's like, I can't express enough how I enjoyed the Batman. It's just so well done. I've seen it 4 times already in the theater. 4 times. Saw it opening night in Dolby. I saw it in IMAX. And then 2 other times on regular formatted screens. But it should be seen theatrical on a big screen. This movie should be experienced on a big screen. It's just made for that platform. It's not made for like cell phones and iPads, TV. Eventually it is going to be on TV, but see it when it's in the big screen. Like, this is with an audience, a broad audience. This is the way to do it. This movie gets an applaud. Like, everyone is applauding after the film every time. Like, it's amazing. Like, people are really into it. You can hear a pin drop throughout the 3-hour runtime because everyone's totally invested in the film, and it does that so good. Oh, so much I could talk about. Like, oh man, with the scene when the Batmobile finally is revealed and you hear the motor revving up. Oh my God, my heart was racing. I had a smile from ear to ear. That entire chase sequence with the Batmobile. Oh, I love the Batmobile. It's like my wildest dreams come true. I'm just watching my wildest dreams come true on the screen. Oh, I love it so much. It's like, I don't know if it's nostalgic feel for Batman, the character, or it was just so well done. So appreciative. I can't wait. I hope they make a trilogy. The film has made over $600 million worldwide, and over 300 million domestically, over 300 overseas. It may not hit the $1 billion mark due to that 45-day window where it premieres on HBO Max. That's going to ultimately decline box office revenues due to people watching it at home. But hey, it came close. It's going to come close to $1 billion, and I think it made enough for like a trilogy to be greenlit. I really hope so. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about the Batman. Also, another film I wanted to talk of briefly was X, the horror comedy that opened last week, directed by Ty West. I He's done a few films like House of the Devil, but surprisingly, I haven't seen any of his films that he's directed before. Surprisingly, because I'm a horror fan myself. I haven't seen it, but he did an exceptional job here as writer director for his movie X. It was so well done. Stars Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, and it's about a crew in 1979 going to shoot a. They want to shoot a porno film. All these dreamers are going to shoot a porno film out like an isolated area in a house out in the middle of nowhere that's owned by an old, really old couple, a husband and wife, and it really builds a nice foundation in the first half. It's like they got the character development. It's just amazing, exceptional, and there's a lot of humor. Surprisingly, a lot of real humor. It takes a lot to get me to laugh in a movie, and I was laughing in this. I was laughing out loud. It was so well done. And then by the time, then it has that, it's not like your typical like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Friday 13th film where they fully rely on the kill scenes and the gore factor and how is it going to look? How is this person going to get murdered? How is it going to look? Who is it going to look? I mean, it when it finally comes to that part, you're so invested in the characters that you almost don't even care. Like you're just so, it's like, oh no, they killed off so and so. I'm gonna miss that character. It's like, it's so well done. It's like amazing. It's like such a simple premise that was really well thought out and written just right. And I think if you stay for the end credits of that film, there's a trailer for a prequel titled Pearl, I believe, and I think that's going to come out later this year. And I'm looking forward to that. Ty West, of course, I think he got the idea while shooting this film for that, and then they shot it simultaneously, right back to back. And I don't know, I'm curious about that. I think Mia Goth is playing a character because she plays two characters in X. She plays the young girl, the lead, as well as the old lady. And I think Pearl focuses on the old lady way back. And it's interesting, I don't know, it's very entertaining. It's a real crowd pleaser too. Like the audience, that's another one to see on the big screen because it's like so enjoyable to watch a film like this or films like these on a big screen with an audience. Because you just, when the laughter uproars, it like fills the whole auditorium. Like the applauding, the frightening moments, the everything. It's just a great experience. I'm old fashioned. I love cinema in the theaters. So that's why I really I'm all for that. Streaming, sit home all day long on the couch and lay in bed all day. The big screen, see these movies on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. I mean, isn't it? It's just amazing experiences and experiences you don't forget. They stick with you long after. To be with loved ones, even if you're just alone, you're not alone. You got people there enjoying this experience with you. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about the Batman, and I hope I didn't miss anything. So I wanted to talk about a lot regarding this film. Also, I'm gonna butcher his name, but the score from the Batman, done by Michael Giacchino, I believe. He's done scores for so many films. He does an exceptional job here. And the Batman, it's just so well done. Like you can feel the emotion and the emotional moments. The score just beautifully ties in emotions and then tense intensity, like the action sequences, so roaringly cool. It's nothing against Hans Zimmer because he did an amazing job with the Dune score last year. That score was blows the roof off for Dune. Oh, that guy's got to win an Oscar for that score. But I didn't really care for his score for the Dark Knight trilogy. It was just, I don't know, it actually annoyed me, that score. I know it's petty to say, but the way Giacchino did the score for the Batman, it's right up there with Danny Elfman's Batman score. That one is just great for what it is. You'll never forget that one. But this one, it's really well done, the score, and it's just everything about it's just a beautiful film. It's just beautifully made, and it's almost like an art house. It's almost like a 3-hour big budget art house movie. That's the Batman. It's like, oh, it's like unlike anything you've seen before, and it must be experienced if you haven't experienced it yet. And yeah, I'm gonna try to make more videos and get them up on here, because there's always new movies coming out all the time, tons of films all the time, and arrow from all directions. So I'm going to try to come up and talk about more films on here. I also am working on comedy, like some sketch comedy. I have a few premises, a few things up my sleeve that I just want to get out there. I just have to shoot them and upload them on here. But yeah, I want to get cracking on that. And I really appreciate anyone who's watching my videos and who subscribe to my channel. And if you're a film lover, this is, if you want to talk movies and film, I'm your guy. I'm the go-to guy right here. I'm the guy you go to. I'm the one to talk to. So leave your comments below. If you want to talk about Batman or X, write comments below. Let me know what you think of these films, or any questions you may want to ask. Just ask, or talk about any films for that matter. Or you wanted me to mention or talk about something that you are interested in, what my feelings or take is on these films. I'm more than open, more than willing to upload videos regarding it. Other than that, leave your comments. Thank you for watching this video, and keep in touch with me. And thank you very much for your time. And my name is Lee Chicanian, and any other films, I'll be back on here to talk about them. And leave your comments below and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your time. Take it easy.